Okie dokie. Video number 3. We are going to tackle the cylinder, and if we have time, the cone. I don't know what you guys have made that you have in your bags that I sent home, but if you don't have the cylinder, then you can follow along with me. So from where I am sitting, cast shadow. Remember, we did our gradient. We've got our cast shadow, core shadow, form shadow, mid-tone or half-tone, form light, and center light, and then your highlight. And since this is toilet paper, we're not going to have a highlight because a highlight is a reflection. You know, it's got to be like a glossy, shinier surface. On our little toilet paper things, the light just gets absorbed, so it's not a reflective surface. So anyway, so we're gonna identify our shadows. So here's our cast shadow, and I would say over here, this dark part is our core shadow, and then we've got our form shadow, and then we have our mid-tone or half-tone, and then form light, and then our center light is all over here, okay? That's a bulk of our light source. And my light source today is a lamp. And I've got my pencils. I am using one of my sketching pencils. It's a 2B. But you guys can use just a regular old number 2 pencil. It's the same softness of lead. I can't use my number 2 pencil because it got thrown around so many times that the lead is broken inside the pencil and it refuses to sharpen. It won't. It keeps breaking off. So when you've got a good set of pencils, your lead needs to be facing up. Okay, that way you're not breaking when you slam it down in there. You're basically cracking the lead that's inside. This one not so much because it's a charcoal, but your lead, where it's surrounded by wood, you can break the lead inside the wood. I don't know if you knew that. Okay, so I got my number 2 pencil. I have a blending stump. Also, you guys aren't going to have a blending stump, so you need some Q-tips, okay? And we'll do our shading with the Q-tips or blending stump. Dollar General has these sketching pencils, but I don't know how many of them they have. So you might do some extra chores around the house and ask Mom and Dad if they'd order you a pencil set off of Amazon. That would be cool, right? Okay, so this is how it looks to me, and this is how I'm going to be drawing it. I ordered myself a nice little handy dandy arm so that I can mount this flat, like so. And you guys are going to see a completely different view of the cylinder from up top here than me, because I'm going to be looking at it straight on, and where you guys see it, it's this way, which is also a good lesson on where you are. You know, the light hits it a certain way, it's going to be reflected a different way. You know, anywhere you move, wherever your light source is, that's what I guess makes it fun, is I want you to start looking at things and finding the shadow and knowing what shadow is what shadow. Scanner needs to go down. Okay, so we're gonna start. Cylinder was our rectangle. Okay, so we're just gonna draw a nice little rectangle. But instead of a straight line across, we're gonna curve that sucker just a little bit. Remember when we were doing shapes and we were learning how different kinds of shapes made different, could start making your 3D objects? Well, if I were to teach that, we would have an oval right here, okay? But we don't see that part, so up top we do, but I'm gonna erase that line. But our rectangle is a rectangle, and then it's got different shapes involved with it to give it a 3D effect. Now up top, we are gonna do an oval. An oval, just like so. And I'm gonna check where I'm at in my camera. Can you guys see this okay? Do I need to move down a little bit? Okay, there we go. So there we got, our rectangle just became somewhat 3D, okay? So now we're gonna start to identify our cast shadow, which comes out this way, and it goes all the way out here. And it's got that rounded edge. And I'm just drawing very lightly. You don't want dark marks, okay? Because dark marks you're not going to be able to erase. Now this is the same paper that I sent home with you guys. This just isn't cut and folded to make your little sketchbooks. So there's our cast shadow. And our cast shadow is the darkest part, right? So me going from dark to light, I like going from dark to light. I'm gonna start shading in my cast shadow. And remember, we're not coloring with our pencil. We've got it sideways. See how holding it sideways gives you a broader mark than just like that? You're gonna get a lot farther, and you're gonna have a lot more lead or graphite on your paper to use to start shading. I'm not sure what all kinds of background noises you're hearing, whether it's off the TV or the TV in the other room, but I don't have any music playing this time because last time I thought that was really annoying. Anyway, all right, so there's my cast shadow, and now I'm gonna take my blending stump, my Q-tip, and I'm gonna start to scrub in all the white spaces. I'm just gonna make that a little smoother appearance. Now, when you're looking at your object, your cast shadow might have like a fuzzy outline around this way. That's called a penumbra. That's just, you guys can look that up in the dictionary or Google it or something like that. It's a Penumbra, I think. I can't spell and draw at the same time. All right, there's our cast shadow. And we can get a little darker with that if we need to. But we've got some graphite or lead on our Q-tip. So we're gonna use that to find our core shadow. looking, my core shadow is right over here. From my light source, it's on the edge here. I'm just going to take the lead that I have on my Q-tip, and I'm going to start getting lighter and lighter with that Q-tip. Because after our core shadow, we've got to find our reflective shadow, or our form shadow, I guess. Now on a cylinder, on a circle, or a sphere, our strokes were curved because it's a round surface, right? Well, so is a cylinder. It's round. Circle, circle. It's like a whole bunch of little circles stacked up on top of each other. So we're going to start, we're just going to make little half circle marks here to give the illusion of it being round. It's already starting to come to life, isn't it? Okay, so core shadow, cast shadow, darker, core shadow. If we want to do that, we just start adding some graphite, my pencil sideways, and I'm just making a darker line right there. Because the core shadow, it doesn't get any light. Now we're going to take our blending thing and we're just going to start blending it in like those little swoopy motions. Swoop, swoop, swoop. And we're going to stop about the middle, right here, okay? Swoop, swoop, swoop. And I want to thank you guys for tuning into the first couple, and several of you have hit the subscribe button, which is pretty cool. Okay, so here, starting here, this is going to be my form shadow, my core shadow, my form shadow. Now I'm trying to find my mid-tone, so I'm going to take the clean end of my Q-tip, and I'm just going to start fuzzing those edges over. Where we stopped in the middle, I'm just going to fuzz them out, blur them out, get real soft, because that's our medium. Because over here, where it's getting the most light, that's got to be our lightest area. And I'm just getting real fuzzy. And then I'm gonna get even fuzzier still. To go all the way over here. I'm gonna finish my swoops, okay? But I'm not gonna get over here into this dark stuff. I'm just fuzzing out what I already fuzzed out. Because I wanna get to my center light, which is right there. So if you need to make a new gradient scale or a grayscale, go ahead and do it. Go back to that second video and just keep practicing on your dark to light, light to dark. Practice your gradient skills, because they really are super important. If you want to learn how to draw and draw really, really well, you're going to have to know your grayscale. You're going to have to figure out and identify where the shadows are and where the light is and where the highlights are. Okay, now the top part of my cylinder here, from where I'm looking at it, it's pretty light, so we're gonna kind of rub off a little bit of that graphite off that clean end of the Q-tip, because it's not as black as this one. I don't want black marks up here. We're just gonna go round and round and round in circles, follow the shape of that oval. And we might have to get a little darker around this edge right here. I'm gonna do this left-handed because I don't know if I'm blocking out. I can't see what I'm doing. Okay. Just fuzz those edges. Now this edge over here, remember when I said light strokes? I'm just gonna erase that a little bit, and then I'm gonna make it with my Q-tip. And then my clean end, and I'm just gonna fuzz that to where this shade right there, that color of gray, matches this. Okay, I know that we have like this edge right here. And if you want to go back through your core and make that a little darker, do it. Just make sure you're not going down. We want kind of a horizontal bit. Just scribble, scribble, scribble on the side. And then you go back with your Q-tip. Most sketching kits with pencils come with an eraser and a blending stump and a pencil sharpener, and at least, you know, graphite and charcoal. I like charcoal. I really love charcoal because it's dark. Alright, now see this part here? It looks the same as my cast shadow. So I'm gonna fix that by getting darker over here, and I'm just gonna press hard on my pencil to get a darker cast shadow, because we can't have our core shadow and our cast shadow be the same darkness. Otherwise we're not gonna get any depth at all. And most shadows, they're darker here and then they get lighter as they go out this way. I'm going to scrub that in. If I wanted to get real fancy, remember that P word, penumbra? I'm just gonna give myself my little penumbra over here, because it's all fuzzy from where I see it. And there's our cylinder. What do you think? Like it? Practice. Practice, practice, practice. Okay. Where am I at on time? 20 minutes! Okay, so I'm gonna stop this one just so it doesn't take an hour for it to upload to YouTube. So video number 4, we'll tackle the cone. This little bad boy right here. And I know some of you have made the cone. That one was a hard one to mold with wet toilet paper. So if you manage to get a good cone, good job. And if you didn't do a cylinder, follow along with me, because, you know, the more we practice our shading, the better off you're gonna be. Okay? So, thanks, and I'll see you in video number 4. Okay, bye.